So once you wake up to what God is doing in life, what this perception of reality is for you, and knowing the truth of who Christ is, and also what's going on right now in current events, then you cannot walk back. And what I mean is that once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep because you realize what's imperative, what's important. Yes, you may have your ups and downs, but one thing that the devil will always do is he will try to distract you from what's going on, from the finish line, from looking forward, and from just what the truth is. And so this happens all the time in any sort of breakthrough, in any sort of precipice. When the war gets thick, he's going to throw and try to thwart you, bring chaos and destruction to your door, to your mentality, to your spiritual alertness, and many other things. And so this is what's happening when people are in this stage. And it's amplified because of, everything that's going on in the news, especially with the Israel, the Hamas, and just many people talking about this. And it's very clear, the agenda. It used to be that it wasn't that clear, right? You were told what to think. You were told, hey, these terrorists attacked us. We need to go to war. So Pearl Harbor, 9/11, many other things. And now people are thinking in more than one step. They're thinking multiple steps. And so if you can recognize the distraction, if you can recognize what's going on, false flags, if you can recognize that there's going to be attention being given to certain news and away from other news, and you can see these little birth pains, these little hurdles, then you can be in a better position to make decisions financially. You can be in a better position to make decisions for legal purposes, social, economic, political decisions, many other things. And one of the biggest things that's going on right now is your perception of people, whether it's Jim Jordan right now, a lot of people hating on him. But if you know the truth, you can see who he is. The same goes for Trump. The same goes for Biden. The same goes for many other people. And so you have to realize that this is a narrative war. This is a war for your mind. It's a war for you to look past this surface level stuff. You have to dig deep. You have to question the narrative. And more importantly, recognizing that Satan is at work through all of the different means in different facets of society: health, pharmaceutical, entertainment, the social space, media, right? Social media, other distractions, whether it's sports, whether it's, videos, useless things, TV shows and movies. And I'm not saying any one of these are bad, but if you're sucked into it, if you want to escape from the world and you're not looking at what's important, whether it's your calling, the mission that God has given you, whether it's the bigger picture of just this whole agenda, the satanic agenda of, depopulation, of getting you to consume, to digest, to not fulfill the calling that you have, that God gave you. Whatever that distraction is, you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware that Satan is trying to throw everything at you, whether it's the smallest of news and comments and people giving this perception of these people, good figures, political figures, or whether it's leaders, influencers, people that God is using, but they're getting a bad rep because there's slander going on, there's misinformation going on, there's people that are being, subjugated, they're being slighted, they're being belittled. This is happening with all of the Israel-Palestine stuff. People are waking up to, okay, what is Palestine? What is Hamas? What is Israel? What are the bad people in Israel? And all of the different players. It's not a homogenous view of a situation. If you ever view a certain people group, a certain nation, a certain, whatever demographic that you want to put, even Republicans or MAGA, whatever it is, if you look at them in a singular way, in a homogenous way, then you are perceiving the world in an elementary manner because there's depth to what's happening. There's depth to intentional distractions, intentional psyops, intentional, whatever the agenda is to root out the enemy. Realize that it's not so simple. And so this is what people are waking up to. And if you are in that position, then you're questioning things and you're recognizing that there's much more that needs to be done, that you were living under a rock, you were living in a stasis, in this lukewarm, lackadaisical state. Now you are awake, you are pumped, whether you want to call yourself a awakened soldier of Christ, people calling others white hats or patriots, whatever you want to call it, you are in a prime position now to do the calling, the work that God has given you. And so everything that's going on, you're being shaken away. I've told people that this is a great awakening. This is a great shaking. And it's to get the body of Christ to wake up in this hour. Because if you don't realize, and yes, you can agree to disagree on certain things. Yes, you're still trying to wrestle with end times eschatology. You're trying to wrestle with, theology, basics of who Christ is and all this biblical stuff. But the point is that if you're moving in the right direction of growth and sanctification, of trying to wrestle with it, trying to really discern, try to pray through what's truth, then you are in a better position because God, he's going to raise up the chosen ones. He's going to raise up a committed, a sold out generation of Christ followers that he's going to use into the end days. And so a lot of us, we're in the thick of this information war, but you are recognizing distractions. You're recognizing what's happening around you. And so I want to give you guys this quick encouraging word, because if you are sharp, if you're in prayer, and if you can see and discern the layers behind everything, questioning everything, and then really trying to research, if you want to know the truth, I believe that God can give you the revelation for the truth. If you're in a position for which you want to shut it out, you only want to chew on the basics, right? Paul talks about drinking milk versus solid food. If you want solid food, this is the hour for which I believe you can take it and you can grab what God has been dangling and showing, presenting before you, because it's a time with the information age. It's a time where you can access, the internet with anything that you can so choose to in terms of discerning and ciphering, filtering what's out there. So I believe if you want it, you can have it. It's the greatest time to be alive right now because God is doing big things. He's going to use you for big things. He's going to change you. He's going to allow the chains to be broken. He's going to allow deliverance. He's going to allow certain things as God wills, as his sovereign will has over your life. He will allow these things to happen. So this is what's happening with the body of Christ. This is what's happening with the world. Eventually, as other people wake up to the demonic agenda, they're going to come to know Christ. Other people, they know Christ. They are, a soldier, a worker in their church. They may be a little low key, but then they're waking up to what's going on, the political issues. People have ignored it, the social, the political, whatever it is, for a long time because it was, treading on thin ice. It was controversial. It was something that I just don't want to ruffle any feathers for. But now it's at your doorstep. The education, the LGBTQ stuff, the abortion stuff, the political stuff, your stance on end times and just this whole war thing, World War III at the precipice, people talking about markets crashing very soon, moving over to this new system. People, UK just had this big shutdown, markets and different things this past week, I think Friday. You're talking about drafts for the war. You're talking about all of this causation of what's happening. And then people picking sides, people trying to discern what's going on. And if you're in this place, kudos to you. God bless you. He's going to use this for big things. So just prepare. Watch out for the migrant crisis. This is the next big thing a lot of people are talking about. It's going to stir a lot of trouble. And so if you're seeing, people talking about Hamas and other even terrorist groups that are trying to galvanize the groups and just mobilize within the states, within other nations, the travel advisory, the caution from the U.S. talking about don't travel. So question these things. Why are they doing these things now? It's always to prepare for something else. You're seeing it or saw it from COVID. You saw it for just the whole situation for the last couple of years. There is a reason, a rhyme and a reason. Trump was right about everything, and he's exposing it. People are questioning it, especially the border wall and many other things. So watch out, because this is a time to be alert. This is a time to be ready. It's going to get a little rough, but it will get better eventually, because this is what's required to clean house and to move us as a body of Christ to the next stage. So love you guys. Be careful of the distractions. Stay prayed up. Talk to you guys very soon.